Guys, I need your help. So Path of Exile 2 has been out for a little bit over a month, and I have found myself spending about every waking moment, little bit of time that I could to log in and squeeze out what gameplay I can. And so much so that I've actually been kind of neglecting other things in my life because this game is so damn fun. This game is destroying my life, but in the best way, in a way that I haven't felt in a very, very long time. So let me just explain what's going on. So of course, with Path of Exile 2 coming out in December, it's been about a month playing of this game. And for me, I've put in around 50 hours, which to some people that might not be a lot. To me, that is quite a bit within a 1 month span. For reference, I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV for nearly a year, and I only have around 400 hours into the game. So for me to be able to put 1/8 of that time in a single month I'm putting double time into it. Now, that's not to say that it's because I am working or I'm doing other things, making content. Yeah, those are true, but I'm finding myself just wanting to log in and just see what else I can do. I recently got into mapping here at the end game, and it's been this just kind of like, well, map only takes like 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. I'm not moving super duper quick. My build is okay. So let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can't push it a little bit further. And I think that's the beauty of this game. I think that's the beauty of what Path of Exile 2 does, is that it just has this one more. Let's just try one more. Let's see if we can't push the envelope just a little bit further. Let's try out this, tier 4 map that we have that's a rare. Okay, cool. Let's, oh, we didn't get it. Oh, but I have a tier 3 that has some good affixes. Okay, cool. Let's go and try it out. It's this idea of almost what can happen next. For example, I should probably have gone to bed around like 11 p.m. last night, but I ended up staying up towards midnight, and it got to like 11:45, and I was like, you know what? I think I have like one more in me. Let me just go ahead and do one more. And I went and did it, and I had a really nice helmet drop that like increased my overall evasion by like nearly 10%. It was so good, and like that's the kind of thing that I've been looking at. It's just like, I can push it just a little bit further. There can just be one more little level. But all of this fun and all this joy that I've been having with this game and trying to squeeze in what time I can everywhere is not necessarily because it's content driven. It's more so because I really enjoy the game, but I'm also neglecting some stuff. So as I mentioned, I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV for nearly a year, and I just got onto their paid subscription, so I'm in the actual full game that I have off of the free trial. And I recently got to the Shadowbringers expansion, which is arguably one of the best, if not the best, expansion in the game. It is one of the more story-driven. There's a lot of excitement around the community that I've garnered over the course of a year. It's been a lot of fun. I should be focusing a lot of my time onto that game and what is happening. However, Path of Exile 2 keeps sitting in the background like, oh, hey, you only have 15 minutes until this work meeting. There's really not a whole lot that we can do in Final Fantasy XIV, but you could probably squeeze out a map or two in that time. Or, like you could go and level your mercenary, one class that I really wanted to get into and play and try out. You could do those. They're right there. Just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and give it a shot. And it's like this draw for me to go and play, which I have not felt in a very long time. As I've said, I haven't felt this kind of feeling since the time that I played League of Legends, which had a lot less gray hairs. That chat is ridiculous, but I always had this idea is, you know what? I could play one more. I could play one more match. This next match is going to be good. That's what's going to be fun. And then I go into the mapping here in Path of Exile 2, and I'm like, you know what? I could do one more. I could do one more map. That would be fun. And then I'll have something cool drop, or I'll get some good currency, or, something along those lines. There's always something in each one of these maps, which I find to be such an addicting kind of gameplay loop. It's like, there's always one more. There's always something more that you could do. And all the times that I can't necessarily play the game, I've also been thinking about how I can make my build better, how I can progress even further. What changes could I make into my build that would help me get further into the end game? Like, for example, I just went and corrupted my Tempest Flurry ability, and it got me a 4-socket, which was better than the 3 that I had. So my damage has gone up by 20%. Okay, cool. Let me move some things around to make that better suited. So now, when I use my charged staff and I kill an enemy that is already shocked, I get a huge damage boost applied to it, making my Tempest Flurry go up like crazy because now it's penetrating lightning resistance. Like, these are the things that I'm thinking about while I'm like on a work meeting, or, you know, I'm driving to go and pick up the kids from school. Like, these things that I'm having, these thoughts that I'm having as I'm just kind of meandering around my day, that is how enveloped Path of Exile 2 has been in my life since this game has been released. And that's what's fun. Like, to me, it's fun to have these almost like aha moments and digging into what you have been doing and what you can improve. I mean, for the most part, even up until the first round of Act 3 on normal difficulty, I was using basic attacks, the basic quarterstaff attack, because I read it as the most DPS, not thinking that comparing it or joining it with Tempest Flurry as well as like the Bell and Charge Staff would be this like really excellent combo. And that's the thing, that's like an aha moment that I had, and I love those in games because once you get it to click, everything works well. And this game has been like destroying all of my free time and all of my other responsibilities because that's where my head has been at. My head has been focused on this damn game. And it's not because I'm so focused on it just because I want to create as much content as possible. It's more so it's just because it's fun. It is just a damn good time. Now, I haven't gotten into the super high-end end game. I won't sit here and pander that my build is the best, nothing like that. But it is just interesting to see this transition of what my focus and priorities were now to where they are now. Now, it's something that I kind of have to like scale back and be like, okay, I got to do this, you know, today. I got to do that today. And again, keeping up with my 14 content as well, making sure that I have my jobs leveled up, making sure that I have, you know, explore these other different things for videos and then for just the atmosphere of the game so I have a better understanding. Path of Exile 2 is just always waiting in the rings like, hey, come on, you could do one more map. You could do it. And I'm like, not now, Path. Chill. Like, and I really started to think that this could be like a problem. I won't say it's a problem. I realized that this was notable in my life, even when my wife, who does not play video games, that's not her hobby, she noticed about this game. She was like, you've been talking about this game a lot more. And I'm like, yeah, it's, you know, I'm thinking about it, right? And she was like, no, I mean, to the point that she went out and read information on the game to understand what the hell I'm talking about. Like, it was actually really cool. But when she started talking about that, it was almost like it was an intervention. Like, I was coming into a room and she was like, sit down, we need to talk about your addiction. And that's what it made me laugh too, is because I was like, I didn't even realize what I was doing or what I was saying or how I was acting until it was pointed out from the outside. Now, I would be remiss to say if I didn't believe that Path of Exile 2 isn't very much in early access, or it is. And I would also be wrong to say that Path of Exile 2 is perfect in its current situation. No, it's early access, so there's a lot of different issues that are being addressed. There's constant changes and updates and things like that. That very much should be understood that, yes, that is how the game is going, and it will probably trend this way for a while, and idea is that up until the 1.0 launch, it will be better. And I won't even go into like the rarity on gear items and things like that. I won't go into any kind of the crafting where it's complete random rolls of luck as contrast to Path of Exile 1, where you could kind of choose which one you wanted to roll into, which I think that's probably where it will go. I think currently they're just working on the currency kind of like random modifiers for people to use, so they have a better idea of you know, what is fair and what works. We're beta testers. That's really what this game is right now. However, even the game being in beta testing, it's still pretty damn good, and it's really addicting. So as the game progresses and it adds more classes, it adds more weapons, it adds more skill gems, support gems, you know, like all these different factors that go into it, once they start adding these into it, or as they add these into it, it's only going to get better from here. And that is concerning to me because this game already in early access is like destroying me with all of the capabilities of the class. Like, I've been looking at the Witch Hunter mercenary, like something about having a giant crossbow and using shotgun bolts, that's a really cool idea to me. And it's like, it's something that I really want to try out because it seems like it's completely different play style using that weapon versus like the quarterstaff with my monk. So, I mean, there's this kind of replayability that's all across the board that I'm very excited about. And I need to get a better control over all my life and my personal objectives before I can sit there and say, you know what, this game is perfect. This game is great. You know, I can officially put that down. It's hard not being addicted to this game, and that is something that I very much experienced. So I will simply say the lesson that I learned is that don't neglect your personal life. Don't neglect all the other things that you have going on in favor of this game. It's easy. It's very easy to just log in and do a couple of maps or you know, to level your character, do something like that. It is very easy, but just also be aware that, you know, this game will be around for a very long time. You'll be able to play it and put as many hours into it as you want. So patience. That is the lesson that I impart on to you. Like, take your time, scale it back, reel it back in, Chief, and you'll be good. If you want to see the first aha moment that I had where I was talking about using the quarterstaff as my basic attack against the Molten Gold boss and where I had to change, I was forced to change, my aha moment, you can see that video here. It's kind of embarrassing, but I felt like I should share it with you. Aside from that, stay caffeinated, folks.